no attempt to even hide the forgery by those who fabricated the fraudulent document. The birth certificate in question is actually a purported copy of Barack Obama's original birth certificate, which is currently held by Hawaii's Department of Health. This copy was posted in April of 2011 on the official White House Gov website, where it still appears today. The following document is an exact copy of what appears on the website. Barack Obama birth certificate. Just in case the facts contained in this subtitle are not entirely clear, the allegations concerning the fraudulent and forged birth certificate have been restated by competent experts as follows. The first excerpt is from an article that was recently published on a major alternative news platform. He said Douglas Vogt, an author and the owner and operator of a scanning business, who also has an accounting background, invested over 2 years in an investigation of the authenticity of document. Vogt, along with veteran typesetter Paul Ivy, conducted exhaustive research of the document provided to the White House press corps on April 27, 2011. Not the online PDF, a critical distinction that must be understood, Hagman said. Using their combined experience of 80 years in this realm, they conducted extensive examinations of the copy that was used as the basis for the PDF document. They acquired the same type of equipment that was used back in the late 1950s and early 1960s in an attempt to recreate the document presented as an authenticated copy proving the legitimacy of Barack Obama. Instead, they found 20 points of forgery on the document and detail each point of forgery in the affidavit, wrote Hagman. Even more interesting, Mr. Vogt claims to have identified the signature of the perpetrator, or the woman who created the forged document, hidden within the document itself. Her identity, in addition to the identity of other conspirators and their precise methods, are contained in a sealed document supplementing the public affidavit. What follows is a second excerpt from the same article quoting a second graphics expert, which is equally as compelling. More recently, Grace Bodo of the World Tribune reported that among the experts challenging the birth certificate is certified document analyst Reed Hayes, who has served as an expert for Perkins Key, the law firm that has been defending Obama in eligibility cases. We have obtained an affidavit from a certified document analyzer, Reed Hayes, that states the document is a 100% forgery. No doubt about it, Zullo told the World Tribune. Mr. Obama's operatives cannot discredit Hayes, the investigator told the news outlet. Mr. Hayes has been used as the firm's reliable expert. The very firm the president is using to defend him on the birth certificate case has used Mr. Hayes in their cases. The Tribune reported Hayes agreed to take a look at the documentation and called almost immediately. There is something wrong with this, Hayes said. Hayes produced a 40-page report, in which he says, based on my observations and findings, it is clear that the certificate of live birth I examined is not a scan of an original paper birth certificate, but a digitally manufactured document created by utilizing material from various sources. In over 20 years of examining documentation of various types, I have never seen a document that is so seriously questionable in so many respects. In my opinion, the birth certificate is entirely fabricated, he says in the report. These extremely serious and substantive developments in the cold case posse investigation will have extraordinary repercussions for the Obama administration. The governmental, political and legal ramifications are so far-reaching that Watergate will pale in comparison. The relevant filed affidavits give every indication that this nation is about to enter an unprecedented constitutional crisis. Because there are 2 presidential terms involved, numerous executive orders issued and various treaties signed by this president, a nullified term as president presents various legal and constitutional issues never confronted by the United States federal government. Screenshot 2013-12-15 at 9:43.56 a.m. Top investigators make serious allegations about what has been officially labeled a forged, fraudulent birth certificate. Mike Zullo is the lead investigator in the cold case posse investigation initiated by Phoenix Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Because of recent developments with the case indicating the likelihood of criminal charges, sheriff's investigators now are assisting the cold case volunteers. Zulu has recently issued the following statements: when this information is finally exposed to the public, it will be universe-shattering, Mike Zulu told WND. This is beyond the pale of anything you can imagine. Zulu explained that because it's an active investigation that could produce criminal charges, he's unable to reveal details at the moment. But the allegations, he said, which go far beyond a fraudulent birth certificate, could be public as early as March. One Zulu goes on the record with the following explosive assertions. Zulu has testified that the White House computer image of Obama's birth certificate contains anomalies that are unexplainable, unless the document had been fabricated piecemeal by human intervention, rather than being copied from a genuine paper document. Mr. Obama has, in fact, not offered any verifiable authoritative document of any legal significance, or possessing any evidentiary value, as to the origins of his purported birth narrative or location of the birth event, he explained. One of our most serious concerns is that the White House document appears to have been fabricated piecemeal on a computer, constructed by drawing together digitized data from several unknown sources. Zulu also has noted that the governor of Hawaii was unable to produce an original birth document for Obama, and it should have been easy to find. The entire executive branch will surely receive a tremendous amount of criticism for the part they played in this conspiracy to deceive the American people. Of course, the hundreds of individuals involved in the vetting process of this president will likewise take on their fair share of culpability in what has to be the political crime of the millennium. It would include a significant number of those in leadership throughout the Democratic Party, to include both Bill and Hillary Clinton. It is quite difficult to see how the Democratic Party will emerge from their direct involvement with covering up such a serious forgery. Years of outright collusion in this highly convoluted and complex crime will certainly call into question the integrity of the entire DNC leadership. The many staff attorneys who participated in the vetting process and, therefore, in the cover-up will also be subjected to intense legal and ethics scrutiny. Screenshot 2013-12-15 at 9:45.48 a.m. Why has the leadership of both major political parties failed to proceed with the appropriate congressional investigations in light of so much compelling and irrefutable evidence of numerous crimes having been committed in the filing of the forged birth certificate? Especially criminal activity so serious and premeditated as filing a completely fake birth certificate, which was used as proof of meeting the constitutional requirements of federal election law, as well as the additional statutory requirements of the 50 states. 24 attorneys general investigating Obama's birth certificate. When faced with substantial allegations of a felony being committed, law enforcement authorities are obligated to see the investigation through to its end. They are required by law to determine the merits of the case, and then make a criminal referral to the appropriate state attorney. Apparently the process is exactly what is being played out throughout the nation regarding Obama's forged birth certificate. At least half of the state's attorneys across the country have been looking very closely at the Obama birth certificate forgery case for many years now. Each of them knows that their failure to pursue the legal merits, given the conclusive results of an official investigation, exposes them to charges of official misconduct. Misprision of felony is just one of the many offenses that each of the involved state officials can be charged with. Phoenix Sheriff refers criminal investigation of Obama's birth certificate to state attorney's conclusion. It is inconceivable that the mainstream media MSM has not only avoided this story for over 5 years, it has gone to extremes to cover up the many high crimes involved. Likewise, never in the United States history has the entire political establishment been AWOL concerning a matter of such national significance and legal import. By neglecting to properly investigate these crimes, the nation is now faced with the prospect of a full-blown constitutional crisis of epic proportions. Yes, it is that serious and much more. Totally unparalleled and unprecedented, with nary a whit of historical precedent is the way that one commentator described the unfolding constitutional crisis. Michael Thomas, December 15, 2013. Author's note: the Israel Science and Technology website performed exhaustive analyses and technical assessments on the posted copy of the long-form birth certificate. Here are the final and categorical conclusions, which they published on the web page entitled, Long-Form Birth Certificate of Obama is a Forged Document. The analyses presented below reveal without a doubt that the long-form birth certificate of Mr. Obama is a fabricated, fake and forged document. The publication of such a blatantly fake document about something so basic as the birthplace of Mr. Obama should raise great concern about the suitability of the person who is holding the reins on the most powerful country of the world. Moreover, the lack of action on the part of the members of the United States House of Representatives and Senate, as well as the courts of the United States, despite many previous appeals to these three branches of American government, also raise a concern about how the governmental institutions of the reputedly best, and certainly the most important democracy in the free world have avoided this issue.
But I'm also the president of the world's oldest constitutional democracy. But I'm also the president of the world's oldest constitutional democracy.
I want you all to recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
Stop!
But I'm also the president of the world's oldest constitutional democracy.